The man known as Air takes flight on the racetrack. Cole Sports presents on the Daily. How you doing, everybody? Cole Johnson's on the mic on the Daily, presented by Cole Sports is on tap. Thank you for joining me on this wonderful Friday. I hope everything is going well with you this week, and I hope everything's going well with you with this new month of October. So if you haven't already, subscribe to this video, subscribe to this channel, I should say, like this video. I want to hear what you have to say, comment below, and hit the notification bell, and get everything that comes out of this channel without even thinking. And if you want this shirt that I'm wearing, the deets are in the description box below. Now, since it's Friday, we know how we get down on Friday, right? So we had to get the knuckles ready, right? And here's why we get the knuckles ready today. We have Air. Now, I know, not the Air. I'm talking about Air as in Air Jordan. And so NASCAR has been undergoing a lot of changes and a lot of upheaval. I mean, they've banned certain images. They've attempted to expand their product and be more inclusive. And then you have quite possibly the greatest NBA player turned businessman in history step up to the plate last week. His name is Michael Jordan, and he is now an owner of a NASCAR team. And that is the topic of this week's email NASCAR CC the Black community. Subject of email: change that works. Body of email: now, Jordan last week announced that he formed a partnership with NASCAR driving veteran Denny Hamlin, and they are fielding a race car team in NASCAR. Yes, NASCAR. Yes, this is the very same product that we see every now and then, and the same product that puts on the race that happens every February, the Daytona 500. And speaking of which, this will be the first time we will hear Michael Jordan's name mentioned in the same breath of anything NASCAR related in a NASCAR related event. Yes, Daytona 500, the biggest race of the NASCAR's year. So the driver of the team, as of now, and it's only been one that they focused on, and the driver, I guess he fits in accordance with what Jordan wanted to do. The driver of the team is none other than Bubba Wallace. Yes, the same one who was embroiled in the controversy earlier this year. Yes, the same Bubba Wallace. Now, yeah, Bubba's the only black driver currently on the circuit. And Jordan right now is currently the first principal black owner that has been since driver owner Wendell Scott between 1961 and 1973. So, yes, Jordan owning this team in this lane is a history-making event. But not just for skin color. In fact, even more than for skin color, because it reaches beyond that. Here's what I mean. See, for Jordan, this is a personal interest thing for him. I mean, as I mentioned, as you saw earlier, the NASCAR headquarters, wonderful building as it is headquartered in Charlotte. Charlotte's the biggest city in North Carolina, and it's one of the biggest hubs in the South. Now, Jordan grew up in North Carolina. Now, he was born in Brooklyn, but his family moved down to North Carolina, Wilmington, as a matter of fact. And I lived in North Carolina. I can tell you from experience, NASCAR is absolutely huge there. The only thing that rivals NASCAR in North Carolina is anything North Carolina or Duke basketball. That's the only thing that rivals NASCAR in North Carolina. So this is big for a North Carolinian. And of course, since Jordan still lives there, it's still big for him, even at 56. So, I'm sorry, 57. So here is this guy who is the majority owner, governor of the Charlotte Hornets, and he sees an entryway to get into NASCAR, and here it is. Which brings me to the next point, which this shows power broker status as a player. Now, along with NBA ownership, Jordan has a stake in Nike. I mean, his Jordan brand is over $1 million. It's worth over that. The Hornets are valued at over $1 billion. Jordan brand, as I said, over $1 billion. Now, you take taxes away from that, and Jordan's net worth is just a tad bit shy of $2 billion. Yeah. And if you want to know if his teams or his properties have benefited and has become more lucrative monetarily, take his Hornets. They earned an over $300 million increase from 2018 to last year. So we can say that business is good for the businessman Michael Jordan. And this goes into the next point. The reason why, I mentioned one of the reasons why this is important to Jordan. Another, his friendship with Denny Hamlin. Now, yes, I mentioned his name. He is a NASCAR driver. He's been on the scene for a decade plus. They met about 11 years ago at a then Bobcats game in Charlotte. They hit it off. They became fast friends. And they became so friendly, Hamlin decided to take on, or I should say, Jordan decided to take on Hamlin as a client for the Jordan brand. And he used Hamlin as a Jordan brand diversification tool because he was the first athlete that he represented in the NASCAR lane. So just know that Jordan owning a team in NASCAR, this is not his first foray into that world. Now they're business partners because they have linked together. But Jordan is the major owner. Hamlin is the minor owner. Money. That's all it is. And speaking of money, let's talk about its impact as a player turned businessman. Now, let me put this in perspective for you. There have been some guys who have turned successful businesses, I should say, turned into successful businessmen after basketball. Take, for instance, Magic Johnson. Now, he started up, I think, some Starbucks chains, and he started a bunch of movie theaters named after him. And that empire brought him $600 million. Now he partially owns the Dodgers. Kobe Bryant, Bean, or Black Mamba, also is worth $600 million. Now, remember, after basketball, he dipped his toe into the Hollywood realm, and it looked like he was going to make his wealth off of business ventures of the creative variety. The one that is really interesting, Junior Bridgman. Now, those may not know, VIP, he may be a little old for you. He played from the mid-70s to the mid-80s for the Bucks. Solid player. Now, he got his wealth by owning 400 Wendy's combined, 400 Wendy's and Chili's in Wisconsin. And then after that, he sold those interests in those franchises, becoming a Coca-Cola distributor. And he is worth an estimated $600 million. Now, compare that to the big power broker today who's playing in LeBron James, whose worth is not quite 500 million, but he's close to half a bill at 480 million. Jordan, as I said earlier, almost $2 billion he's worth. So this shows you the impact a player can have if he decides to turn on the business aspect of his mind after he steps off the court. Well, I did mention business. It's the last point. Bright business mind. I mean, he pitched so many products. I'm sure the non-fan doubted he actually played the NBA, but I know they knew he was a basketball player of some sort. But I mean, he pitched things like Nike, Gatorade, McDonald's, Hanes, Wheaties, and that just scratches the surface. I mean, he was such a valuable pitch man. He got to the point where now all he has to do is give permission to companies who want to use his name for their product. He doesn't even have to be on the TV screen, and he gets a check written to him for $10 million. I don't think you heard me. I said all Jordan has to do is lend his name to any company that puts a commercial on air. His face doesn't even have to show up. And that company has to scratch a check for at least $10 million to Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Now, people endlessly talk about the $170 million he had to cough up to his ex-wife Juanita, quite frankly, for Jordan being a hoe. But throw in those failed experiments as being a president of basketball operations as well. Come on. Do I even have to mention? Oh, fine, I will. Kwame Brown. I'm sorry, I had a cough. My bad. Kwame Brown as pitcher. I mean, Jordan knows how hard it was to get Kwame to be on the same page as him. When he was the president of basketball operations and decided to be the number one draw for the Wizards at the time as well and put on the uniform again, his draft choices not been all that great. And he proved not all that great as he became the Bobcats/Hornets front office personnel man before he made his way into the ownership box. But the thing is, he took all those failures and he succeeded a lot more than he's failed. In fact, one of his statements is, quote, I have failed over and over and over and over again. And that is why I succeed. Close quote. More than color, this is a victory for the athlete. You don't have to only know the sport that you choose to make your fortune. You don't even have to milk your fame once you've retired. You don't even have to milk your former celebrity during retirement. All you have to do is diversify your own brand and grow to be even more powerful than you ever were as a player. Because your name carries weight, especially if you were a player of Jordan's magnitude. It carries weight even more with companies when he is taking off the jersey and putting on the suits. Or she. I mean, you can diversify your brand to grow more powerful than you were as a player. That's what Peyton Manning is doing now. I mean, he was extremely popular as a pitch man himself and a player, but behind the scenes, Manning is trying to be a business owner. In fact, he's trying to be an owner of a team. Now, John Elway, I'm talking about, he used his name to become a popular general manager of the Broncos. Same with Ozzie Newsome. But players like Manning and players like Jordan, their influence and their name carries even more weight. So the thing is, with this exercise of owning a team in NASCAR, this proves that you as an athlete can make a bigger impact transforming lives of other people with the power of your influence. Yeah, Republicans may buy his shoes too, but the world loves seeing this figure win more. And he's won and won and won yet again. Cole Johnson, Cole Sports with a Z.com. Now, if you can think about any athlete that's had as much impact on the business side of things away from the court as Michael Jordan, I want to hear what you have to say. Like this video and comment below as the athlete that inspires you like Jordan does with his business moves. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell to get any and all premieres and video from my channel. Thank you so much. I hope this week has been wonderful and prosperous and beautiful for you as it was for me. I'm so happy to do this for you, and I'm so happy to bring this to you. I'm Cole Johnson. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. And this has been yet another installment of Cole Sports on the visual and on the daily.